Logan, I feel like we've talked a lot lately, but this matchup really just comes down to the very simple how MMA got started, wrestler versus striker type matchup. But you've been here, you've done it all, and is this maybe one of those fights where you're like, let me show you guys, obviously you're former champion, let me show you guys I'm more than just a wrestler?
Yeah, for me it's sticking to the game plan, getting to my positions, and it's about going out there, and every time you go out there you want to put on your best performance that you've ever had, right? And so that's the plan, is to go out there and put on my best performance, be well-rounded, and get the finish.
You've been with this promotion for a while now, and you've been through all the changes. We've talked about the World Tournament just as a whole, but recently the promotion's coming out and they've talked about some changes that they're making that are fan-friendly. Always going on the road, affordable ticket prices, the new PFL app. When you see how much they're investing into the fans and the fighters, how does that make you feel about the direction that this company is headed?
Yeah, I'm excited for PFL's future. We've got a great roster, great people leading this company, and put on exciting fights, right? And so I think it's going to continue to grow and continue to get better and better. And so, for us as fighters, that's what we want to do is put on exciting fights and show everyone in the world that PFL has some of the best fighters as well.
You're obviously a part of that group, and I know it's one fight at a time. It's always been one fight at a time for you, but we're just days out. How do you not get caught up in this mindset of like, yeah, I'm going to have to face the possibility of potentially facing my teammate in the championship?
Because biggest thing for me is I got a weight cut ahead of me, and I got 15 minutes against a very, very good opponent, and so that's all I'm worried about, right? Is semifinals Thursday night, and so for me that's where my focus is at.
And what do you make of your opponent coming into this one?
Yeah, he's well-rounded. He moves well, very technical, but I will get to my positions and do what I do best.
Last one for me. We're here in Nashville, and I feel like just having seen you fought at home, I feel like you're going to be kind of a crowd favorite, right? What do you make of Nashville just like fighting? I feel like they're going to love your style of fight.
Yeah, no, I'm excited. I got a lot of friends and family coming, and it's it's cool to see PFL here in Nashville. It's a lot going on, and the face-offs yesterday right on Broadway. So I think it'll be a lot of fun, and it'll be great to have a good crowd there.
There's no party like the Logan Storley party. Thanks, man.
Hey, Logan. Kikuiri had a brief stint in Bellator as well. Did you get a chance to see any of his fights over there, and what of his strengths do you need to look out for on Thursday night?
Yeah, I got to see his last fight in Bellator. I got to see his fights, but yeah, he like I said, he switches stances well. He's got good body kicks. He's long. He's rangy, and he is good at getting up off the, like especially against the cage. Good underhooks, and he makes people work. So we know that he's a good quality opponent, and that we have to show up at 100% and ready to go.
And then you mentioned the weight cut. How is your weight cut going this week?
It's going well. We got a really good team, and we went back to the drawing board after last year, and we did a lot of really good things right, and made sure everything was dialed in. So I feel good, and it's never fun weight cut night, but we're ready, and I feel like we're really ready to compete Thursday.
Good luck.
Thanks.
Yeah, Logan, you've obviously in the cage, octagon, not exactly sure, the smart cage with a lot of really talented fighters. I guess coming out of the previous loss, going into 2 straight wins, I guess what have you kind of been able to gain and learn from those fights that's now helping you out in those last 2 coming into this one?
Yeah, for me it was just getting with my coaches, and we went back to a lot of drilling, a lot of positions. In MMA, it's sequences, right? Putting things together, and that's what we've done really well, and using my style to put the positions that I want to win at. And so, with a guy like Robbie Lawler and Nick Lentz, Dieter Navarro, Henry Hooft, and a place like Killcliff, you have the best team and the best coaches in the world, and they always have a great game plan for you.
Yeah. And speaking of the team, I know obviously you're focused on the fight ahead of you. Have you been able to see Jason kind of train, and what have you made of him in the gym? Yeah,
me and Jason have trained together for a long time. Me and Jason are friends, and have known each other, like I said, since 2017. He's got to go take care of his fight, and I got to go take care of my fight, and then we'll go from there.
That's all I got for you.
Thanks.
Okay, Dylan on Zoom, sorry. All right, Dylan, we'll come back to you. Mills.
Hey, how's it going? Logan, it's MMA Locker Room part of Pub Sports Radio.
Hey.
I just wanted to ask you, bro, out of all your wins, you have about 18 wins, it looks like, and 17 wins. And out of your 17 wins, you still haven't been able to get that submission yet. Is that something that you're kind of itching for a little bit more when you're training in the gym with all those killers like you don't clip?
Yeah, obviously I would love to go out there and get a submission. Got great guys like Gilbert Burns, Herbert Burns, and so yeah, we've been working a lot with those guys and always improving. And yeah, plan to, like I said, get a finish this fight. So be fun to go out there and get a submission.
And then one thing I wanted to talk to you about is fight IQ. It seems like you have an A+ when it comes to fight IQ. You know exactly what you're supposed to do out there when you're in the cage. It seems like some of the fighters that left the promotion, they go to another promotion, they just forget how to fight, or they just seem to fight a different way. What is it that makes your consistent style always the number one game plan to go out there and put on your opponent?
Yeah, first it's always about, doing what you do best. And so for me, it's pressure, using my hands into takedowns, into pressure, wear these guys out, get to my positions, dominate those positions, and so be true to who you are. And that's what I've done my whole career. I've wrestled since I was 5 years old, wrestled at the University of Minnesota, wrestled the best guys in the world, and so I know what I'm best at. And so just listen to my coaches and do the game plan that they have.
Speaking of wrestling, if you could pull off one wrestling move inside the cage, would it be a DDT or a suplex?
A suplex.
All right, and then last one's going to be for me, the biggest favorite on this card, minus 750 on there. When you hear odds like that, does that make you go out there and fight with a little bit more extension to try to go for the finish, or just another dominating win?
Yeah, with MMA, we don't look at odds, and it's a fight. Anything can happen, right? So I don't ever pay attention to those. I have to go out there and do my job. So to me, it doesn't matter what I am, whether it's a favorite or a dog. I got to go out there and do my job.
Can't wait to see a fight this week.
Thanks.
Eddie.
Hey Logan, Eddie Law, Cape Press. Just one quick one for you. You're talking about your team over at Kill Clip. There's one guy that holds you in quite high regard, a fellow Minnesota wrestler, Mitch McKee, coming out with another win here. How cool was it been to see his growth since you brought him over to Florida, and seeing his work translate from the training room to the actual cage?
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. I recruited him after the Olympic trials, and he's a young kid, and so we hadn't had a lot of wrestlers transitioning over to MMA, and called him up, and so now he's 9-0, and he's one of the best 135-pounders in the world. So it's really cool to see his evolution of going from a high-level wrestler now to a great MMA fighter.
Yeah, you're a hell of a recruiter, man. That was a great one. Good luck this week.
Thanks.
Carlito.
Yes, Logan, you talk about your wrestling background. What did you prefer, Greco-Roman or freestyle in your days?
Yeah, obviously American wrestling is folk style with college, and then we wrestle a lot of freestyle. I didn't do much Greco. But yeah, so for us in college, growing up, it's all folk style, and then we transitioned to freestyle.
Absolutely. I was a style wrestler too in high school, and I won district. And what can we all expect in Nashville under the lights Thursday?
I think just a good, solid performance, going out there and being dominant and putting pressure on them and getting to my positions, and me looking for a finish. And that's really what I want to go out there and improve this fight.
Absolutely. It's an honor. Thank you, brother.
Thanks.
Dylan.
Logan, you spoke about your teammate Jason Jackson, and I know you've kind of seen the inside look of this training camp, being a guy who's been in there with him quite a bit. What can you tell me about this matchup for him and kind of what's going on, because he has a very exciting matchup, if you will?
Yeah, Jason's fought the best of the best, his former champ. And so Jason's going to go out there and do what he does best. He's super well-rounded. And, Thad's the young guy, and obviously he's hungry and he hits hard, but, Jason's one of the best in the world. And, at Kill Cliff at 170, we've all trained together. And So I think we know where we're at, and I think me and him both have a lot to prove Thursday night.
And you mentioned it earlier how you guys would have to kind of regroup and figure it out afterwards if you both come out victorious this week. For you, it seems like it's just remained the same, nothing's kind of changed in the gym for you guys, and that's something that you guys will worry about later kind of deal?
Yeah, we had we had an 8-week camp to get ready for obviously 2 different opponents, and we both have tough fights ahead of us, and so yeah, we had to take care of ourselves first. We're not worried about the finals, right? You don't look ahead. So yeah, I think we'll deal with that after Thursday night.
And last for me, how do you feel about this wrestling advantage that you possess in this fight and the way that your wrestling skills stack up to your opponents coming into this one?
Yeah, I think he is, is a little underappreciated with what he can do on the cage, and so we've watched a lot of film on him, and but like I said, I'm going to get to my positions. I'm going to set the pace, and I'm going to do what I do best, and so I'm excited for that.
Thank you, man.
Thanks.
Ken.
Hey, Logan, Kay Williams for Ken Chronicles Media. Let's talk about mental preparation leading up into this fight, and who are some of your biggest motivators in this training camp?
Yeah, I guess for mental, I think this year we looked at it a little different, of being super grateful to be back in the tournament and for the ability to go out there and compete. And I've been fighting for 10 years now. This will be my 21st professional fight. And so I think, at this point, just being grateful for the opportunity to get to go out there, compete at the highest level, and put on a show. And for when it comes to motivators, I got great training partners and great coaches, and Robbie Lawler, Wayne Hoganson, Dieter Navarro, 3 guys that'll be cornering me. And they always hold me accountable, and so you want to go out there and put on a show for those guys that pour so much into you, but also your friends and family that have supported my career. I want to go out there and perform at the highest level.